Trends of the week, key news you can't miss. Summary of the most relevant national and international news of the week, here on ICI Noticias Canada. With its presenter Angelica Cifuentes. Canada must shut off critical minerals to US to counter Trump, Singh. Canada's New Democratic Party, NDP, leader Jagmeet Singh, has urged the Canadian government to suspend exports of critical minerals to the United States in response to President-elect Donald Trump's tariff threats. Singh argues that such a move is necessary to counter Trump's aggressive tactics and protect Canada's economic interests. Critical minerals, essential in the manufacture of modern technologies such as mobile phones, solar panels and electric vehicle batteries, are strategic resources for both nations. Jagmeet Singh argues that restricting their export could put pressure on the U.S. administration to reconsider imposing widespread tariffs on Canadian imports. Starting January 13, 2025, Canada Post will implement an increase in regulated postal rates, raising the cost of stamps by approximately 25%. Individual stamps, the price will increase from $1.15 to $1.44. Stamps and booklets, rolls or panes, the cost per stamp will increase from 99 cents to $1.24. Rates for U.S. mail, international mail, and services such as domestic registered mail will also see average increases of 25%. Canada Post argues that this adjustment is necessary to offset rising operating costs and maintain the viability of postal service across the country. The company has pointed to a significant decline in the volume of traditional mail, which has fallen 60% since 2006, from 5.5 billion pieces to 2.2 billion in 2023. Half of Canadians are $200 or less away from being able to pay their bills. A survey conducted by Ipsos for MNP Debt reveals that 44% of Canadians have $200 or less left at the end of each month, after covering their debts and basic expenses. Of the 44% mentioned, 17% report having between $1 and $200 available, while 27% indicate they have no monthly surplus. Women, 48%, are more likely than men, 39%, to find themselves in this financial situation. Generation X, 48%, faces greater financial challenges compared to millennials, 43%, and baby boomers, 40%. The lawsuit, filed by Quebec law firm Perrier Attorneys, accuses Costco of providing misleading information about online charges and failing to adequately inform customers about product availability in physical stores. The lead plaintiff, Ibrahim El Bekra, purchased a blender from Costco's website last July and later discovered that the same product was selling for $5 less at a physical Costco store in Laval. The Quebec government has announced its willingness to deploy up to 300 additional agents on the border with the United States if there is an increase in illegal border crossings into the United States. This preventive measure responds to statements by the President-elect of the United States, Donald Trump, who has expressed his intention to implement stricter immigration policies, including mass deportations, which could lead to an increase in border crossing attempts from Canada. Outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has stated that everything is on the table in terms of responding to tariffs proposed by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. Among possible responses, Canada is considering imposing tariffs on U.S. imports worth up to 150 billion Canadian dollars, approximately 105 billion US dollars. In addition, the possibility of reducing or stopping energy supplies to the United States has been discussed, given that Canada is a key supplier of oil, natural gas, and electricity to its southern neighbor. Projections for the Canadian housing market in 2025 indicate moderate growth in home prices, with significant variations by region. According to a recent survey, Canadian home prices are expected to rise by approximately 2.8% in 2025, following an estimated 1% increase in 2024. Ontario, the Canadian Real Estate Association projects a 0.7% increase in the average price of homes and condos by the end of 2024, reaching approximately 931,000 Canadian dollars. Mark Carney is scheduled to hold an event on Thursday where he is expected to announce that he will run to replace Justin Trudeau as leader of the Liberal Party and Canada's next Prime Minister. Calgary Liberal MP George Chahal's office said in a statement Wednesday that the MP will join Carney for his highly anticipated campaign launch in Edmonton on Thursday. The Bank of Canada is scheduled to cut its interest rate by 25 basis points to 3% at its meeting scheduled for January 29, 2025. In summary, the Bank of Canada is preparing to adjust its monetary policy in response to U.S. tariff threats, seeking to mitigate potential negative impacts on the domestic economy and maintain economic stability in an uncertain international environment. This measure could negatively affect the Canadian economy, increasing uncertainty and potentially slowing economic growth. The Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, has implemented several updates to its website for 2025, with the goal of improving efficiency in filing returns and communicating with taxpayers. The key new features are highlighted below. Form T619 Update. Form T619, used for electronic transmission of information returns, has been updated for 2025. The new version is required for all electronic filings beginning January 13, 2025, and must also be used for prior year returns that are amended, such as 2022 T4S. It is essential to include a valid email address on Form T619 to facilitate communication with the CRA. Chrystia Freeland, Canada's former finance minister, has announced her candidacy to lead the Liberal Party and therefore aspire to the post of Prime Minister following the resignation of Justin Trudeau. The Liberal Party leadership race also features a prominent entry from Mark Carney, former Governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, who is running as an outsider. A recent poll found that 82% of Canadians do not want Canada to become the 51st state of the United States. However, some Canadians may consider U.S. citizenship if they obtain certain benefits. Despite easier access to U.S. programs, most Canadians value their national identity and prefer to maintain their country's sovereignty, considering that the advantages of U.S. citizenship do not outweigh their desire to remain Canadian. Beginning January 21, 2025, the Government of Canada will implement significant changes to eligibility for open work permits, OWP, for family members of temporary residents. These changes seek to align immigration policies with the economic and labor market needs of Canada. Your opinion matters. Subscribe and follow us on our YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook platforms as ICI News Canada, to always be informed with the most important news and in-depth analysis.